Hey guys, how's it going? This is Bada Boopy, and today we're playing Buried. I've seen this game, I haven't seen it played, but I've definitely heard about it, and I've heard it's definitely a really good story, especially one, to record, so, let's get into it. So, Buried is an interactive story. The plot will change based on the choices you make. The story is broken into 5 chapters. Play straight through or at your own pace. There's no waiting and no pauses. Enjoy and choose wisely. Let's hope I can choose wisely. I don't know anything about this game. I don't even know what it's about. I'm assuming we're just, buried. But let's get into it. I open my eyes, and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back, and everything seems to hurt. The trees overhead look familiar. It's a clear night sky, almost beautiful, except for the fact that this means I've been out in the cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened in my head. My God, my head hurts, and a ringing in my ears. Was there an accident? An explosion, I think. I remember Dennis screaming, but after that, I can't remember. As I sit up, I notice that my hard hat has been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not there. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat, but I've got to find the other members of the crew. They could be in danger. So we could search for the hard hat or forget the hat, search for the crew. I feel like the hat's not really a huge concern. It feels strange to go anywhere, but I would say the crew is more important than a stupid hat. I decide my hat can wait until we figure out what's going on. I get up and take a look around the logging site. I smell something burning and don't hear any engines running. Wait, something isn't right. Was it the bulldozer? Maybe the damn thing overheated for the last time. Maybe the engine finally blew. What a mess. Well, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. Only one way to find out, I guess. I walk over to the center of the logging site and don't like what I see. Continue. This is interesting. This is really... Whoa. Whoa, what the heck? Okay. The logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The one load we had managed to stack on a truck for the day is overturned. The trailer bent and the logs hanging off the rack. Where the hell is everyone? My head is killing me, and the ringing in my ears? I can't hear anything. No birds, not my footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat flew off. I run through a quick mental checklist to make sure my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings. I'm 41 years old. The year is 2017. Hey! I own a small logging company, and we've been logging in the strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works. That's a relief, but it also makes me fearful, because something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site, my mind trying to figure out what has happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. Do we look at the debris or the truck? I feel like the truck to see if anything or anyone is inside. The truck, the hitch is completely broken, like it was blown off in an explosion or a really bad accident. Had there been an explosion, all of the fuel on site would have started a fire, but there's no charring, no burning, nothing. I walk through the area where Dennis has been working. From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox is open, an indicator that he had been taking an early break. But he's not here. No one is here. Where the hell is everyone? I could try to make a call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running really low. Not that it matters. The reception is crap out here. I feel like the cell phone wouldn't. I could try, but its battery's always... Save the battery life. Just start yelling. Hey guys, where is everyone? Tony? Dennis? Frank? Joe? But their names fall flat among the wreckage. I get nothing back other than I get nothing back other than scaring away a few birds overhead. Might as well start walking and try to find some answers. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods down the gravel road we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran that way for help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared? Out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up to them, but with my truck turned over on its side, it looks like I'll be walking. My God, I can't even remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait, what's that underneath the bulldozer? Oh my God, it's a leg. It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The dozer looks unstable. The dozer looks unstable, like it might roll some more. Maybe not be safe. Might not be safe to get close, but at the same time, I can't just leave him here. Go look. Definitely. Why not? Hey, I yell. Are you okay? Are you alive? I skip over the stray logs and wrecked equipment to get closer. Seeing the dozer teeter makes me think maybe I should have grabbed my hat. I could see a bit more of the leg. The jeans are soaked in blood. I recognize the work boots. It's clearly Tony. His leg is bent at an impossible angle, nearly crushed flat. The closer I get, the more apparent it becomes that Tony didn't survive. You don't want to pull the body out. If you see a leg flat, I'm not trying to do that. There's nothing I can do for him now. I start to back away slowly. In my shock, I stumble back, suddenly tripping over one of the stray logs. I bang my head hard on one of the logs as I fall. Instantly, I can feel a massive lump forming on the back of my head. Damn, why didn't I grab my hard hat? Okay, I get it. I should have grabbed my hat. God. But what hurts more is the realization that Tony is dead. Looking at him, I feel something rise in my throat, and I don't know if it's a scream or vomit, but I have to push it away. If I lose my cool right now, there are too many questions that will go unanswered. Shit, I can't believe this. Tony, he had 2 boys. He coached his oldest son's baseball team. He was the hardest worker I had and was one of the most honest and reliable men I knew. This isn't right. I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. Wow. So their whole car flipped while he was in it, or the dozer flipped. I don't know. As I walk through the stacks of logs from the last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ears. It's terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds and sounds like it's coming from far away. I can't help but wonder, is it my ears or is it something else? The silence out here is creepy, and there's a smell like the atmosphere after a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it. I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze to rustle the leaves and branches. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad that I'd never even noticed the pain in my knee. I must have heard it during the what? Accident? Or... Wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground motionless about 30 feet away. Yeah. We should walk up to him. He's just sitting there, not moving. I walk up slowly next to him. Dennis? Hey man, can you hear me? I tap him on the shoulders. He looks up at me from the ground, clearly coming out of a daze. Yeah, Roger, I hear you, he says. Dennis is built like a wrestler and has the tough personality to match. But in this moment, he looks disoriented and even a little anxious. Though I'm glad to see him, the fear on his usually confident face is alarming. What the hell happened? What's going on, he asks. Don't know, the crew is missing. An explosion, I think. Let him know the crew is missing. That should help. Missing? Dennis says, where do you think they went? I'm not sure, I say, but it has me pretty freaked out. Something's not right here. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods as if he's just now understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment was overturned, the dozers too, I say, wiping my forehead. You okay? I ask him. Yeah, just shaken up. Me too. This might be the most intimate conversation Dennis and I have ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we've never been been particularly close. I've always respected him, though. Sure, he's come to work a few times looking like he'd been in a bar fight the night before, but I've always seen him do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids while they waited for their dad to finish up a shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure I want to rattle him with news of Tony's death right now, not before we know what's going on, but he has a right to know. He does have a right to know, definitely. You were up front with Dennis about Tony. Dennis's eyes fixate on me, startled. He was crushed under the dozer, I say. Dennis pauses for a moment, like he's trying to understand what I said. His eyes narrow and his bottom lip quivers. Shit, he says, and I could tell that he is fighting back tears. He and Tony had been tight, almost like brothers. Hey, he adds quickly, and as if trying to escape the reality of Tony's death. Did you see that light? No, I say. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger, he says. It was like this flare of white light. It came right out of the up right out of the ground like an explosion. So there was an explosion, I say. Maybe it was some equipment, or this was no equipment, Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came right out of the damn ground. What did it look like? Oh, he just explained. Like looking into the sun, he says. It just feels like someone stabbed me in the eyes with a hot knife. When? I'm not sure, he answers, but I had finished about 10 trees for the day and was about to top one. That's when it happened. You were almost done with 10 trees, I ask? Yeah, he says, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done, and that's when the light blew up. Why? You don't believe me? I believe you. He saw what he saw. He saw what he saw. I think to myself, he had no reason to lie about this. My God, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, he says. But if I'm being honest, I'm scared. It scared me pretty bad. And if it's all the same to you, I'd like to get the hell out of here. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It isn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood, the red seeping through his blue work shirt. There are splatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch that makes me worry. I want to know. I'm not sure, Dennis replies. I must have gotten thrown or hurt somehow from that light. It's then that I notice that the strange ringing noise is still filling the air. Hey, I say, stopping. Do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise every once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I ask him this question, and he just nods. I thought it was just me, he says. He looks out of sorts and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. We'll be honest. It's freaking me out, man. I'm sure I sound scared, but I don't really care. I look to Dennis to see that my confusion and fear has seeped into him. And is that disappointment in his expression as well? I think so. It's as if he expects me to be stronger, to assure him that we're fine and nothing out of the ordinary is happening. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he had his cell phone on him today. Not yet. Luckily, I still have some battery left. I pull up my cell and call Frank. Happily, I didn't make that call to Dennis earlier. Yeah, exactly. It rings, but he doesn't pick up. But then I hear his phone go off behind the stack of logs. Dennis and I give each other a look. As the phone goes to voicemail, I hang up, and we both walk behind the logs to find Frank's phone on the ground, abandoned. We look around for Frank, but find nothing, not a single trace. It's then that I notice something really odd, a 10-foot wide hole in the ground right near where the phone was. But there's no stray piles of removed dirt or rocks. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth, wide but only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted, no shovels or diggers used. Dennis walks over to it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw that light come from the ground. He muses to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning. I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here, Dennis mutters. At that moment, the ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on, and we might not be safe here. But that ringing sound could be a clue to where the rest of the crew went. Yeah, let's check out the sound. Something's not right, I say, and if there's mechanical noise like that, you think someone is out here? He asks. Maybe. I think we should at least check it out. They might be able to help. Yeah, you go right ahead, he says with a grin. I'll be here waiting for you. Better hurry, though. Dennis doesn't look like he's in the best shape to be trouncing around the forest, but we need some answers right away, too. Bring him. Fuck it. No, you're coming with me. I bend over and hoist him up against my shoulder. He resists just barely and then gives in. He's looking at me like he's terrified of me now, making a moan in his throat. We start moving through the woods quickly. With no idea where the rest of the crew is, I worry they could be in danger. Every tree out here looks exactly the same. I grew up in the country and can find my way around the forest without much of a problem, but I'm feeling dizzy. I'm leaning against a tree when I see something that has no business being out here. A logging crew has been out here for 3 weeks, and I've never seen it before. Ooh, continue. What is it? What will it be? Whoa, what is that? It's a small building, sort of like a mixture of a shack and a bunker. It looks to be made of concrete, but moss, weeds, and plain old erosion also make it look sort of mystical. It looks like something out of a demented version of a medieval fantasy movie. What the hell is this? Dennis asks. I mean, is it some old power station? How would we know? I have no idea. Never seen that before in my life. You purchased this land, right, boss? Dennis asked. Didn't you survey it? I certainly did, I say, getting a little defensive, but this wasn't here. Do you think the others maybe went in here? He asked nervously. Why would they do that? I asked. I don't know, but they aren't here. They aren't out here. If they aren't inside, they're probably dead, like Tony. He looks at the ground as he says this. I want to go inside, not just to find my crew, but also to appease my curiosity. That ringing noise is coming from inside, but something about this place seems incredibly strange, especially located all by itself out here. It simply does not belong. I wonder, do we knock or just go in? Dennis asks. I can tell that he's trying to make a joke, but it falls flat. I'm starting to think his humor is a defense mechanism for his fear. We both look ahead, take a moment to realize what we're about to do, and start moving forward. We get no more than 3 feet closer when Dennis wobbles. Reach out and steady him. I reach out quickly, straining my injured knee. I barely make it in time, grabbing him under his arms and keeping him from hitting the ground. I'm okay, he said. Just, can you help me walk for a little while? Just help me get inside, please. I can't deny him his request. I've never seen him this week, and it's a little uncomfortable to see. It makes me glad I decided to keep him with me. There you go. I help Dennis into the weird little building. The front door opens easily, even though there's clearly a lock on it. Maybe the lock was supposed to keep someone in. It's hard to tell. I still hear that ringing noise. It's definitely coming from in here. Stretching out in front of me is a small interior to match the outside. The building is totally empty. There's a concrete floor and dingy, featureless walls. There are no windows, giving the place an even more isolated feel. Still, we hear the ringing noise coming from somewhere in here. It's louder now, more prominent. The interior seems confined at first, but a small set of concrete steps leads about 5 feet down, revealing a corridor. Ooh. Creepy as fuck. It's a massive corridor, in fact, like I'm in some kind of building underground. It seems to go on forever. This corridor is mostly dark, with emergency lights every 10 feet or so. I assume we're now underground because this corridor extends far beyond the walls of the building we entered. I realize that someone might not appreciate finding us here. Walk quickly. But he's injured. I'm eager to find out what's going on here. We're trying to be quiet and stealthy with the intention of sneaking up on them. If anyone is listening, they definitely know we're here now. As I carry Dennis to the far end of the otherwise featureless place, I see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have to set Dennis down on the floor. His weight is killing me. Dennis, are you okay? Stop worrying, man, he says. I'll be okay. I just need a minute to rest. But looking at him, I'm not so sure. I can still hear the ringing noise every so often coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead at the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so that Dennis sees them. Can you make it down those stairs, I ask? He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort not to fall back down. Yeah, he says, and sounds a little irritated. He starts for the stairs without me, and I have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by just looking at them, I get the sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back. Continue. Oof. Oh, that's creepy. That's creepy. Whoa. As I head down the stairs, I notice that they look aged. That damned ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into the cellar of a haunted house, the light becoming scarce as the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it a few steps down before he is leaning on the wall, his breathing like he's just finished a marathon. Pause, I guess. God. Let's take a break, I say, putting my hand towards his shoulder to help steady him. Dennis leans out on the side. Thanks, I don't feel too great, boss. As we both squat down on the stair, my mind seems to lock in on an unknown fate of the rest of my crew. Frank is married and I've met his wife a few times, a nice woman with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never again get to hear him belting out classic rock tunes during lunch break. Joe, well, I don't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are dead beats, so he has been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Maybe I can still find them and still get to hear Frank singing in the deep baritone voice after a few too many drinks. After a few moments, Dennis says, "All right, let's keep going." We both stand, leaning on each other. I have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out in search of the next step. I can't help feeling like a child as a very powerful fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out of the darkness, slicing into my throat. After what feels like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're closer to that ringing noise now. A door sits securely in the wall and looks just as out of place down here as I feel. A sliver of light seeps through, illuminating the area. The door has what looks like a panel with lots of labels and lights. Small embossed prints above the panel says Level 01, Entrance Gate, Transport Sector. Push the button. I give the button a push. One of the readings on the panel flickers to life. Outage. That's all it says. It then goes dark. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind, each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged, experiment in progress, shutdown engaged. Those all appear to be off, but one of the phases has a slow blinking red light next to it. The only powered light on this whole thing. Abnormal entity breach. What the hell? I slowly push the door open when Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking the lead. "Let's go," he says. "I want to find out what the hell this place is." As Dennis walks through, that ringing or beeping or whatever is getting a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis's step as he lets out a grunt. "You sure you're healthy enough to keep going?" I ask. It doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the woods right now. He seems scared. Something I've never seen before. Angry, yes. Upset, yes. But Dennis is never scared. What did you see? I don't know what it was, boss. It looked like someone had left a radio on, crackling. But we don't have any radios at the site. I don't know. It was like something in the forest was moving. I give him a doubtful look as he casts his eyes to the ground, frustrated. "I know how it sounds," he says, "but I know what I felt. I was like walking into a funeral parlor, feeling death and gloom everywhere. I've been so preoccupied with my own fear that I nearly forgot about the ringing noise. It had become just background noise. We take a few more steps and I can see where we are. It makes no sense, yet another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it just doesn't belong here." Ooh, end of chapter 1 already? Dang it. That was really interesting. What the heck? Respect the dead. You and 36% of players left Tony's body where you found it. Secrets. You and 76% of players were up front with Dennis about Tony's death, as you should. Trust. You and 55% have told Dennis you believed his story. Curiosity. You and 75% of players went to investigate the ringing sound. Teamwork. You and 64% of players decided to bring Dennis with you. Whew. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's chapter 1. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.